We're going. We're on air. Here we are, everybody.
All right, I say prayer.
Snowing out on the ground. Phone's in. It's so warm, I'm going to keep them in.
Oh, gosh. All right, Father, we're grateful for this day and grateful for this time that we have to learn and talk about business, and we're grateful for our classes and for the school that we get to attend. Our Heavenly Father, please bless us with thy spirit this time and help us to be successful in our careers and especially this assignment. Please watch over and protect our nation, and please bless the missionaries, and please bless us in our different endeavors. We love thee, Father, and grateful for thy Son and his atonement. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
All righty.
Oh, it's freezing. December 1st.
Wear 2 jackets.
Yeah. I took my cold shower this morning. It was
Did you?
so hard.
Why?
Oh my god.
Maybe that's why you're cold the rest of the days, because you cool your body temperature down too much.
My goal at the end of the is to go swim in the Snake River.
Snake River's already cold usually. You know how cold it's going to be during the wintertime?
Yeah. To go at least get in all the way.
I want to go with you just because I want to watch.
Okay.
I might do it with you just because
I'll bring you. Yeah. Oh, but this morning I took my shower and it was so bad. I was just
yeah, because when you get cold water, like, it really takes your breath
you
away.
can't breathe, yeah. And then after like a minute of doing that, it just relaxed. And it was weird. I was like, it's not even cold anymore. But now I'm freezing, so
freezing.
Doesn't make any
All right,
sense.
scriptural thought or spiritual thought.
Got anything?
I don't know what it replies to right now. This morning I was reading about Sherem in the book of Jacob and how he came in. And, it talks about how he had sought to be with Jacob to sway him of his ways. Well, then talking about how Jacob could be swayed, like, because he already, like, he heard God's voice, he prayed a lot, he'd seen angels, all this stuff, and there's, like, no way that he could be swayed. And I just thought it was really cool that, like, how cool is it to be, like, that far into your faith, right? Like, for me, I feel like it's a lot of responsibility. People angels too often if he knows they're going to rebel in the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like critical that they do something immediately right then and there.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if I'm faithful enough for God to show me an angel, because I think he's still worried about me. Yeah, he's not good enough yet.
Well, nowadays I don't know if we need angels as much because we have so much technology.
So explain that.
Like, because back then, I mean, people, maybe they couldn't be reached by church. That, you know, maybe they were struggling a lot and nobody else could like reach them because they were too far away or some distant land, or, you know, so they send an angel or something.
I can see that.
But I mean, today you have all this technology, you know, Spirit prompts you to go talk to someone or call someone, or
They also know what to eat, not eat, how to get medical help now.
exactly, yeah. So I think because their lack of technology, they didn't know as much, so they needed more instruction.
That's kind of cool. I never thought about
Because
that.
I do think that, I mean, in the temple, Peter, James, and John go and teach them all this stuff. Like, I think God taught them how to like farm and all that stuff.
Well, that's kind of interesting.
How do they come out of the garden knowing how to make bread?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what do we do now?
Take this plant, dry it out, chop it up, mix it with some water. Something's gonna come out. Once you pick it up.
Eat it. Anyway.
What?
So, I don't know. Also, there can be spirits that aren't from God that visit you.
That's
Remember
true.
that talk we listened to? The witchcraft one?
Oh yeah.
Of the DNC, how we're on how to tell a real spirit from a fake spirit.
Yeah.
Probably a reason for that.
Not wrong. Shake his hand.
Shake his hand. Okay, well, this case was a pretty interesting one. Different from what we've studied before. What grade would you give Morgan for how he pursued Skyhook? An A. He was determined.
I would not give him an A.
Why?
I give him an A for effort,
Yeah.
but he had something that nobody else had, and you didn't pitch it well enough to get anyone to buy it.
This is true. But it doesn't say what happened with Apple.
Well, we know what happened, and we looked it up. They bought him, and then Apple's like, screw you. I mean, they didn't even buy him. I don't even know what the result was.
Yeah, that's true.
But if
An A for effort.
based on what he's done so far with what they have to offer, I would give him a C.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's done, but you got to look like he's done really well getting all the funding and everything. He just hasn't been able to like.
Done really good at getting the funding. They've done really good at like building their product and their software and all that stuff, but they have not done good at selling it.
Mhm.
That's the thing is like if people, you can't make any money if you can't sell anything. That's why sales is so important when it comes to business, no matter what their product or their service is. You have to be able to create value, and people like it might have value, but if you can't create that for somebody else and explain why it's valuable to them, then it's valueless. Or invaluable? No. Without value. Worthless.
Bueno.
That's why sales is.
Okay. Skyhook developed a pretty cool technology that's gotten a lot of positive feedback. To Ted Morgan. Why the lack of sales?
His fault.
You think it's his fault?
Yep.
Why?
Because, I mean, I think it's probably twofold, right? One, everybody, like, no one has really heard anything like this before. Wi-Fi was just, like, kind of a crazy new thing that everybody was still trying to figure out. But at the same time, and what's it called? They already had GPS, which basically did the same thing. It was more expensive, but it basically did the same thing. And so he said that, like, when he would pitch it to people, the most of them didn't understand what it was.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's partially his fault, because I looked at the diagram and read his little what it was in 5 seconds and kind of understood what it was and like why it was valuable.
Yeah, I don't know why other people didn't understand it.
Exactly. So I'm just like, I don't know. Like his biz model was cool too. Like the fact that they hired other drivers that are buying a fleet of cars and spending.
Yeah, he was very
tons of money.
savvy at cutting costs and everything, but I mean, it sounded like he needed to hire someone that was, I mean, like a Dick Cheney.
Cheney. I wouldn't either.
We're filming.
Anyway.
No, someone that's just really good at selling stuff.
Yeah.
You know, creating value.
And I think that they should have like focused on what their real goal was. Like they weren't quite really sure. Like I guess we could just be applicable for certain apps. So they sold to certain people that are making applications.
Yeah.
Or like, we want to be put into every single device. So we want to be cents to $1 per device. Like, well, wait, what about location advertising? Like through Wi-Fi and whatnot. Like, okay, that's cool too. But I think they should have figured out which one they wanted.
And then stuck to it.
See which one's the most profitable, which one's the most marketable, and then just focus on it.
Kill that one, yeah.
Because that's what they didn't do. They didn't focus enough on that, on one something. So I think that's like a sales, is like lack of salesmanship, I'm guessing, or being able to explain what it actually is.
Clearly and effectively.
Lack of purpose, and like who they're trying to target and who their main target market was. I guess lack of distinction between GPS and their new software that they created. I don't think they drove it home that they were completely different from GPS.
Yeah, and that's people. Well, we have a location service, it's GPS, and it works for us. Why would we spend all this money on this new thing?
It works on our cars.
So just finding a new way to combat that problem.
Because they said the GPS wouldn't work in like big cities. It doesn't go through buildings.
Yeah, and if he would have pitched that and capitalized on that more,
Probably would have helped a lot.
yeah.
You don't need to be even in an area where their satellites are added in a particular time to get service. Like they're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, the different lessons learned. Okay.
Nokia. So Nokia, they wanted 30 cents to $1 per device that Nokia sold.
Nokia was the one that already had the GPS.
Yeah, they just bought a GPS company for like, let's say $5 million, something like that. Something ridiculous.
And they couldn't justify spending more money on this because I guess they didn't understand the value of it.
Yeah, they didn't just see the difference between that and the GPS.
I don't know what the E911 and MSFT are.
Let me go back and check.
I don't remember. I don't remember those ones.
Where's for eDocs? Talked about AOL.
Talked about
GT. Okay.
I don't remember reading anything about those.
I don't either. Maybe Series B.
Akita.
E911 and MSFT. Oh, here it is.
Oh, Series B.
So they persuaded two 911 or 911 service providers to develop E911 services using Skyhook's technology. This progress helped convince both AJ and Lucy to recommend an investment in Skyhook to their partners. That's not very much though. Like he convinced two people. So basically, they sold it to 911. So like 911 people, when they got a call, to figure out where people were at, even if the people didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But they sold it to two people, like only two 911 providers. Like that's, they did it for free? Doesn't really say too much about them after that.
Well, I guess from that they were able to get a Series B around $6.5 million.
So it did help them like show like, hey, there's applicability in this and lots of different things that people aren't even like considering, I guess. Mm-hmm. One good thing about it, but I don't know. MSFT, where's that at? Okay, I didn't find MSFT in there at all.
It's probably in Series A. I don't remember reading about it.
Are they talking about Microsoft? Oh, there it is.
Where's it at?
So page 2 says Mike, Sean, Skyhook's co-founders did not face the same personal pressures as Ted. Creative Framingham, Massachusetts. Mike graduated.
That's
from
where my mom's
University
from.
of
Framingham.
Oh, cool. Then joined the wealth management group at Montgomery Securities in San Francisco. MSSF. Maybe that's not it. MSF. Yeah, no, that's not it either.
It's probably some dumb acronym that's obvious that we don't know.
Well, let's move on.
Okay.
Who benefits from the technology? What problem does it solve? Who has this problem? Do the business decision makers in this company above feel the pain that this solution solves? So first up, who benefits from this technology? Anyone that has a mobile device that can't reach a satellite. So anybody that needs to use a GPS, anybody that wants to write a review from a restaurant that somebody just walked out of, anybody for the 9/11 thing like they were talking about. Any reason to have a location like sensor, like maybe they have tracking applications for parents for their kids now. Devices, like when we lose our device, like I lost my iPad.
I mean, now, years later, we see the application of this technology like crazy.
But people didn't quite see it back then.
People didn't quite see it back then.
But I think
everyone benefits from it.
And that's the problem that it solves, is it takes care of the GPS. One, GPS was super expensive to like.
Yeah, because it was hardware.
It was hardware
that they had to put into
space, and like they had to have direct vision of the satellites at all time for it to work. So if buildings or trees or anything got in the way, it wouldn't work. So like that's kind of why it's not very good. Like GPS works great for driving. Anything else, it's not as good. So it solves that problem because Wi-Fi works everywhere there's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and like the question, do business decision makers in the companies above feel the pain that this solution solves? They have the pain, but they don't feel it. Like they feel content with their the GPS system thing. Because they're like, oh, it's good enough. It works for us.
So the same thing. Like, what's the difference?
And it kind of goes back to Ted Morgan pitch, you know. Obviously, it wasn't that good to convince people that this is they need this. It seems like the only reason Apple was in, he gave them like a software sample of it.
Yeah.
And then they kind of learned to themselves, oh, this is really cool.
So otherwise, like, which strategy option do you favor? Local ads is what we chose.
Local ads.
Yeah, we talked about that. Like, honestly, they could just give away their software for free to all devices, not just Apple, but all of them. Probably give it to Nokia too. Because I mean, they benefit from it. It definitely upped the value of their phones. But then that they could use everyone's phone for advertising. Because there's almost, I mean, now any app you download on the app stores are usually like advertised based. So they make money off of putting stupid ads on stuff.
Yeah.
Angry Birds, they put stupid ads on there now.
Spider Solitaire.
Some flashlight apps.
Yeah, those suck.
Yeah.
Okay, convince everyone in your group that you have the right plan for each option. Okay. Discuss how likely Skyhook would be to succeed given the following circumstances. So we've convinced each other of local ads. We talked about it.
I'll say because all they would have to do is like they already have everything set up. Now they just need to get people to like see like, hey, we can advertise for you in a specific location. This will help you because they'll be able to target your market more easily. You want to target people in an old person home? Bam, we got that set up. We know exactly where they're at.
Yeah.
You want to target people at schools or colleges? Bam, gotcha. Sporting events? Bam.
But again, I think with the local ads, they shouldn't pitch it as we want to give this to you for free and we want all the advertising rights to it. I think they should go in saying we want to charge you for this, and then kind of like make it seem not as cool or not as good to have the local ads.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Because later on, I mean, like the companies will be like, these guys are making a killing just off the ads. want the ads, and so they'll either cancel and go with someone else who's created something like this, or do what Apple did and get their own.
Yeah.
So they got to be careful with that.
I mean, in their current team, like they have the ability to do it. Like they've started a lean company. They don't need a lot of people. It seems like to function well.
Yeah. They
They're
have a great business model of hiring the drivers, $15 an hour.
yeah, instead of buying a fleet of cars.
Yeah, doing it themselves.
Like that was smart. And then
If they give it away, they're gonna have to change their business model.
well, and their product's already like developed. They have to do a little bit of maintenance each year, but it's already done. Like they did it. So now they just and nobody else is buying it at this point either. Like very few people besides the small applications and whatnot. So they need to figure out this is like the best option because now, okay, nobody wants to buy this from us. Like we can create value by doing the ads. Like we can specify that and explain that very clearly. So I think their business model should be they developed it, give it away to distributors like Apple and Nokia, and then go to all these companies that want to do advertisements like, hey, we are in
But my
2
question is,
bazillion phones across the world.
what would be the benefit of Apple accepting that offer?
What would be the benefit for Apple?
Yeah.
Is it their GPS, like their maps?
Is that just another feature they can offer on their phone?
The feature they can offer on their phone.
Selling the advertisements and buying it.
Well, so it would put another feature on their phone and create more value that way. At the same time, they'd be gathering data continuously about where people tend to go, what restaurants they go to, like what people like, what people dislike. And like honestly, there's a lot of companies that take that kind of data and they sell it to different companies too for statistics and whatever else. And so they have the data collection like part of it that they could do. I don't know if Apple actually does that or not, but it's a possibility. Another like perk of doing that is like now, like I mean this is the way it works on my phone now. This is in the past, I guess, but if I walk into a Walmart, it says review Walmart. Now like Google has leverage over Walmart being like,
did Skyhook own all those rights to that?
I guess they don't.
But I'm wondering for Apple. Anyway, that's another thing.
All right. What is your negotiation agreements? Doing the local ads, sell the company. I would sell Apple if they offered us
Completely or sell the product to Apple?
sell it completely. But here's my company. Here's our product.
Really?
Yours. I mean, because nobody else is buying it at that point. I'm like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I'd figure out how much we'd spend, how much it's worth.
You wouldn't try to raise more funding and sell to a bigger communication corporation or something.
The situation they're in, like as we saw, like what happened to them in 2010 anyway. No, I would have sold out so quick.
Yeah.
Like
Back in hindsight, it's.
and these guys are smart guys. The guys that started, if they want to start another company too, like they're in the position to do so. Like, what was Jobs' interest?
Well, he was just interested in talking about. It never said anything about him wanting to negotiate an offer of buying him or something like that.
It talked about the other people wanting the software for their maps, basically.
Yeah.
Because Google was on the board, I guess, at the time. And I really don't know.
Why did he call you? Well, he was interested in Skyhook, the technology.
I think you want to let them know that it's serious too. Like if the CEO of Apple calls you, like, hey, like super interested, like want a deal. Who should pay? I mean, honestly, too, like depending on if Skyhook could make the advertising part of it possible, and Apple didn't see value in just like having the software alone. If I was them and we started making money, I would be willing to offer Apple a little bit of money.
Okay, yeah.
So I would pay them.
Or create some type of negotiation with the advertisement, like you get a certain percentage, we get a certain percentage.
And I don't know what the percentage was then, but now 43.5% of Americans use Apple phones
Yeah.
compared to any other type of phone.
Yeah.
So they would have been sitting pretty.
I mean, it's interesting because we looked ahead of this time and saw that Apple just continued working with them. And it asks how big is the opportunity for Skyhook? I think it's huge if they do it the right way.
Yep.
If they do it the wrong way, I mean, I don't really know what they did, but I guess they did it the wrong way because Apple's no longer working with them.
Right.
But if they did do it the right way, they could still be working with Apple, and that would be huge because Apple is like huge.
And if they should pay, I think the amount that they should pay if they do is I'd offer them to Apple to put us on their stuff, to put us on their phones and devices, and then also with the promise that we'd update our systems every so many years, our Wi-Fi mapping every so many times for so many years or something like that.
Well, the other companies are doing like every 5 years or something, right?
Yeah. So even if they wanted to do it like every 2 or 3 years.
Okay, cool.
That's what I do.
All right, thanks for listening. Bye. Oh, my mouse.